Welcome to the KR Films Entertainment channel. Today we are going to explain 2015 Mo action movie Baahubali. The beginning. At the start of the movie we see a woman running with a child on her lap to save her life from some soldiers. The soldiers followed her and suddenly stood in front of her. The woman somehow manages to kill them both. She then tries to get out, but due to the strong current of water she decides that she will flow with the stream until it reaches the bottom. She also didn't want the child to get harmed, so she sacrifices her life and holds the child above the water with one hand and stands in the stream with the help of a piece of wood, and by doing this the woman kept the baby alive through the night. The next morning as some people arrive from the village, they could see the baby being lifted above the water with the help of a piece of wood. The woman kept the child alive all night. A person runs to her and picks up the child in his arms. Then we see that she has pointed her finger above the mountain in the sky. A woman named Saga says that it seems like God has sent this kid and that from today this is our son, and she also named him Shiva. As time progressed, Shiva had now grown up and the people of the village had always told him that if he believed to be real he had fallen from the sky and come down from that mountain. This is why Shiva tries every time to climb the long mountain, but despite many efforts he used to fall every time he came on a long jump and point. His mother doesn't like all this, so she asked the yogi of the village pray for his treatment. It is said that by offering water to Linga, Lord Shiva himself will be happy and will give wisdom to her son, but pouring water on the linga while bringing water to his mother again and again does not come from this belief, and therefore taking a large survey rod Shiva strikes it vigorously inside the linga. Seeing it, the people of the village or supper arrives that after 3 or 4 strikes the Lincoln would get separated from that rock, after which Shiva lifts the Lincoln on his shoulder and proceeds to spring and puts it under the pure waterfall. He then says that now her mother is offering water on top of the mother link every time, after which he started doing an orgy in front of the same Lincoln with happiness. A mask falls on the ground and when Shiva's eyes got on it, after which he took it with him. Even after leaving, Shiva doesn't come home because of this. His mom and the yogi are all upset. When Shiva finally gets home he just keeps looking at this mask day and night, not knowing what has happened. After getting it, we now see Shiva placing this mask on the sand and doing artwork around it with his fingers. Only a beautiful girl's face emerges. Shiva understands that if the mask is dropped from above and belongs to a girl, then that girl must also be above the mountains. In order to fulfill his fantasy, Shiva further climbs the same water fountain with the artwork he has created. His imagination pulls him towards her, and the point from which he always used to fall he finally reached there. Shiva change his final destination by angering his arrow on the tree standing above. He saw the girl who owns the mask and she was running away from some soldiers. Shiva goes after her to help her, but she easily manages to knock all the soldiers away easily. She then reaches her camp where their leader driver Mai says that they have to free the army from the possession of Bolo data as soon as possible. The girl of Antique Tico says that she wants to do the task and that he can trust her. At first he didn't want her to do the mission, but seeing her performance he hands over this work to her. Paul Davis seen doing 2 hands with a very big ball. The bull seems more powerful, but Bolo Def was also no less than anyone. He had the power and using his full force he defeats that ball as he was waving the flag of his victory in front of the villagers. The bull again attacks him from behind when suddenly Kept Tapper comes and kills the ball. Baladev gets happy with his loyalty and asked him to make any wishes. He has served their royal family over the years and every time he has managers won their trust. Khattab makes the wish to release the long-kept prison death. Sina follow. Dave got furious about this and tells him that if he wants her to be free then just kill her at night. Kantap it comes to death scene and says that she is living a life of so much disgrace and says that if she wants he can destroy these victims with a sword and free her from there. It have seen it got furious and says that she want to see Bolo Dev in the burning fire of these woods and that his screams must get spread on the walls of the palace of Antique. It is with one of her companions departing from her camp and trying to reach Shiv Sena. Shiv also joins her and explains to her the story of how he got there and confesses his love for her. The next day some soldiers attack of Antique her and she shouted loudly for Shiva's help, who instantly reached to her. One by one he blows everyone off the dust, but on seeing the number of soldiers increasing he decided to escape. Shiva then takes the support of the bark of a tree nearby and that helps them to escape, saving himself and of Antique his life. He escapes from there. Now he arrives at the Mahishmati kingdom where a very big idol of Bolo Dev is being made of gold, and today was the final date for the statue to be completed. The idol was going to be inaugurated in front of the people of the whole village. To make it stand upright all the people of the village put their full strength, but a person accidentally leaves the rope and the statue started falling back to the ground when suddenly she becomes there with all his might. He quickly started pulling that rope along and seeing him all the other slaves also got up and joined. Back his face gets revealed to the slaves and they recognize him and started saying the word Baahubali. Seeing this, everyone in the kingdom started shouting Baahubali loudly. At night, Bolo Dev interrogate all of his soldiers and ask for the first person to say that name so that he could punish him, as this name has been heard in the whole kingdom for years. Shiva again arrived in the path. As to save Dev seen from the prison, he then joined Def Sienna and takes her with him. After getting rid of the few soldiers, he starts running away from there on a horse. Follow speaks to Cat Tamper and orders him to stop the person who has taken Death Scene and bring her back to him, while on the other hand Shiva is worried about escaping from all those places as Bottle Deb's younger brother Roll. So follows him. He is doing it by going ahead before him and then stopping his path, but Shiva still manages to get rid from all of the soldiers. Shiva then faced Khattaba looking at him with his eyes as Bottle Deb's younger brother tried to kill him. Shiva manages to separate his head. Rain also started and Shiva had a full smile from the mud. Seeing this, Cat Topic gets in hurry and he now desperately wants to kill him. He then moves forward when suddenly the rainwater pours over Shiva, due to which the entire soil comes off from his face. Seeing his face, Cat Tapper whispers Bahubali and bows before him. All the soldiers there also kneels down to him and started saying his name. The next morning Shiva learned that he has been adopted and his real name is Mahendra Bahubali. Khattaba further tells him about his father, a marriage robot Hubali. He says that many years ago King Summer Dev from the original royal family had two sons, Peace Jal Devil and Vir Deva. Like Rama, David became king but later dies in battle. Now the whole kingdom was in the hands of his brother and his wife Sifa Gummi. Bahubali's mother died as soon as she gave birth to him. He was then handed over to civic army. Now as the king's seat was far left behind, some of the people started promoting themselves to be the king, saying that the kingdom needs a leader. But before these conflicts could go further, civic army stepped in and kills all the riots. She then claimed that the two of his son Bottle Devon Bahubali will be elected as the king of Mahishmati once they grows up and proves their worthiness. As time passes, both of them grow up and are trained in every aspect to be worthy of the king's position. While Bahubali is generous and seems to be the rightful person to be the king, Bala Dev is strong on all sides. He doesn't fit well for the king's seat. Now civic army had to choose who will take over the throne. Suddenly one day a traitor of the state gives all the secret information about Mahishmati to call a cruel and dangerous leader with hundreds of dead soldiers, given that within some time there will be the coronation of Mahishmati here and it will be easy to capture the state. Bahubali and Baladev planned to capture the traitor to get him to reveal the truth. They captured him and he revealed that he has declared war between Mahishmati and Kaul. This war also seemed like an opportunity and a real test for the throne. Civic army claims that the person who defeats Kaul will be the new king of Mahishmati. The next day preparation for the war starts. As a final warning, they all want Kaul to surrender and that his life will be spared, but Kaul says that when he and his people will kill her both sons, then he will come for her. He will make her his bride and the child that will be born from her will become the new leader of Mahishmati. This enrages civic army and she tells her sons that he should starve to death and must see the strength of our state before dying. They then started the fight and the strong and big deadly warriors of Kaul makes a strong attack on their kingdom. The two sides commence battle and Bolo Dev uses arrows to kill them, whereas Bahubali uses creative initiative to cripple the Kaleki army by attaching a big cloth with rocks and launching them at the army, and then burns the cloth on fire, taking a larger portion. All their soldiers were destroyed, but they were not stopping and were increasing in number. Bahubali and Bolo Dev then arrives on the battlefield and started the ultimate battle. Ball Dev killed them easily with the help of a sharp spinners which cuts the army in half. Then Kaleki army uses a farming trick where some people of the village are taken hostage and are put it in front of them in hopes of stopping them. Ball Dev without any thought kills them all, while Bahubali again shows his generosity and saves his people as well. He also motivates the soldiers into holding up their oath and fighting back against the brutes who would dare touch their righteous kingdom. Now Bahubali has to face Kaul. He quickly heads to him with the newly motivated army and cuts through all his army and reached out to him. He makes him fall from the elephant and seems to kill him by making decisions. He remembered his mother Ira's words that he should suffer before his death. He catches him from his head and sends into his mother, bringing in the footsteps of civic army. But suddenly Baldev extends his weapon and kills Kaul. The condition was then laid that whoever kills Kaul will be the king of Mahishmati. Please Joller Devil believes that since Bala killed Kaul first, he deserves to be the rightful king of Mahishmati. However, Sivak he chooses Bahubali and he devotes himself to rescuing his subjects and leading his soldiers in battle. She explains that Bahubali is a righteous man worthy of a king, and being king doesn't just require being strong but also thinking about his people, the soldiers and commoners. Chance in her favor. Now in the present time she asked to Is he now? Cat Tapper says that he was killed on the battlefield. Shiva says that the person who can alone defeat an entire army, how can he die on the battlefield? He then asked for the person who killed him. Khat Tapper confesses that under unknown circumstances he was forced to kill Baahubali, ending the movie with the suspense of why he killed him. Subscribe to see more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.